This is the Body by Yoga Athlete section. So this is for you guys that are looking to use yoga to help improve your sports, whether that's golfing, whether that's jogging, running, cycling, swimming, doing triathlons, or even if you're doing organized sports like basketball or football. This workout is going to help you, and that we're going to be focusing on the kind of exercises that you don't typically do in your other workouts. So things that you don't get when you're doing your weight training, things that you don't get when you're doing running, things that you don't get when you're doing agility work. So this is going to focus on all those other things like balance, like bodily control, also stuff like injury prevention exercises, so working on flexibility, and then also a lot of stuff with body maintenance. So just the right stretches to help you take care of your body after a workout. So the kind of stuff that you might not be used to. So instead of the push, push, push kind of exercises that athletes are used to, this is kind of the more relaxing exercises. And that's going to be the second half of this workout, the restore section. We're also going to delve into some of the mental benefits of yoga. So there will be a mental workout as well to this Body by Yoga section. So I'm going to ask you to do certain things like think about body parts that you're trying to work on. Think about particular things that you need to focus on, and to focus and hone in on that as you're working out, as you're moving through these processes, through these exercises. And also to focus on your breath and focus on the present movement. So instead of thinking about what you need to do in the future, or thinking about what you might have to do tomorrow for your workout, or worrying about something that you can't change, instead focusing on the movement at hand, focusing on what you can do right now. And that's going to help you improve your mental fitness as well, which you can apply to your workouts outside of yoga and also to your competitions, especially if you're an organized team sport or an organized sport like tennis even, or baseball or football, where you have to think in your sport. So it's not just going and going, but you actually have to, you're in settled situations and there's strategy involved and you need to think. So we're going to help you out with all those things. The first part of the workout is going to be focused on, this will be a more difficult workout, more focused on exercising those things that you don't normally do, working some auxiliary muscles, working full body integration, a lot of core engagement, a lot of balance stuff. And then the second half of the workout is going to be focused on the more restorative aspects of yoga. So the deep stretching that you don't normally do, but that you need to do. You know, I'm interested in getting in as good shape as I possibly can, being in the best shape that I possibly can. And for that reason, that's why we are including the second half of this workout, the restorative stuff, because that's what you need if you want to perform at your best. And if you're doing this because you want to look your best, you need to take care of your body, in addition to putting it through those hard workouts that really burn calories and help you feel like you're getting a good workout. So the second stuff, this restorative stuff, is you also need that too. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. All right, so without further ado, let's get started with Body by Yoga, the athletes section. So this first exercise is going to involve squats, twisting, and integrating your breath into these exercises. We're going to start with a big inhale, arms overhead. Exhale into a squat. Inhale back up. Exhale, twist to your left. Keep your hips facing straight forward. Inhale back up. Exhale to squat. Keep your knees behind your toes. Keep your core engaged. Inhale back up. Exhale, twist to the right. Keep your hips face forward. Inhale back up. Squat down. As you exhale, compress your core. Squeeze all the air out of your diaphragm. Inhale back up. Exhale and twist. squeezing your core so that all the air comes out, sucking your belly button into your lower back. Back up. Exhale to twist. Working on shoulder flexibility as you're working into the squat. And twist. Breathing in and out of the nose, keeping your breathing consistent. Working on slow, controlled movements as you move through these squats and these twists. So this is where the mental workout comes in. And we're working on moving consistently and focusing on all the technique that's involved in these squats and these twists. Paying attention to every part of your body, making sure that your hips face straight forward, that your core stays engaged, that your shoulders stay down, and that your breathing stays consistent. We're going to go through one more of these on each side. Back up. Squat. Back up. Last time, twist. Left arm forward, right arm back as far as you can. Press. Stretch your chest. Inhale, back up. One last squat. Looking forward, shoulders relaxed, knees back. Stand back up. And then bring your hands to center. All right. Bring your toes back together. Heels about 1 inch apart. Arms along your side. So when we're in mountain pose, this is your standing mountain pose. This is your base. You're working on keeping your core engaged. Straight line from your pubic bone up to your sternum. Keeping your butt under your torso so that there's no pain in your lower back. No arching. Thighs are slightly internally rotated so that you're protecting your lower back, engaging your thighs. Slight bend to your knees. Chest lifted up and shoulders drawn down and back. So it's especially hard to focus when you're not doing anything, when your body is just standing still like this. It's pretty easy to focus when you're moving in and out of something that's difficult, like doing a handstand or doing a complex sports movement. But this is where it gets hard to focus. So I want you to focus on right now. I want you to focus on your feet pressing into the ground. Focus on your fingertips. How do your fingers feel? Focus on your chest. Focus on your body. What feels sore? What needs work? What are you doing this workout for today? Focus. Nothing else. You're not focusing on tomorrow. You're focusing on the workout right now. All right, let's get started. Step your left foot to the back into a lunge. And then squeeze your legs toward one another so that your right heel squeezes back, your left toes squeeze forward. Knee over your ankle and your front foot, arms along your sides. Palms facing forward, shoulders pushing back away from your ears. Core engaged, so bring your hand to your belly, make sure that you feel your abdomen engaged. And keep length in your torso, so your neck is long. You're not pushing your neck out in front of you, but pulling your shin in towards your chest. Another breath here. All right, the only thing we're going to change is this right leg. So straighten your right leg, point your left toes to the back into an airplane. Keep your left hip low toward the ground so that your hips are even. You're going to feel this stretch on the back of your right thigh. Also feel your core work to hold you up and some stretching in your chest, your shoulders, your scapular muscles working to hold you up here. So this is a balance exercise. One more breath here. And then bringing your knee forward, your left knee forward, crossing your left ankle on top of your right thigh, bringing your hands to center, and then squatting down into a single leg squat. A figure four balance, making that figure four with your left leg, pulling your chest up and forward, so feeling this especially in your right glute and your right buttock, and then also feeling a stretch in your left buttock. Working on core engagement to help keep you strong here and balanced, grinding the ground with your foot, focusing on a single point in front of you so that you don't fall. One more breath here. And then slowly stand all the way back up. Lower your left foot down, back to a standing position. All right, so that was the first balance section. Let's switch sides. Step your right foot to the back. Knee over your ankle and your front foot, squeezing your legs toward one another. Right foot goes forward, left foot squeezes back. Arms along your sides, chest pulling forward and up. So this is working on the flexibility in your right hip flexor. You're also working on strength and endurance in your left leg. So this is the same position that you'd be in if you're on the starting line of a race or a track. So building strength in that position for running, for jumping, for starting a sprint. Also building into the flexibility in your right calf, pushing that heel down, arms back so your chest is opening up, working on shoulder strength and chest flexibility. And then into airplane from here, press down through your left foot, lift your right leg off the ground, point your toes to the back and start to straighten your left leg. So this is working on the flexibility of your left hamstring. And here you're working on balance, especially. So this is going to help you reduce the risk of injury to your ankles and your knees. So if you find yourself in unsettled situations, like most people do when they're running on a trail or in organized sports like football or lacrosse, this is going to help you reduce the risk of injury by strengthening your ankles and strengthening your knees. And then from here, we're going to go to that figure four balance. So very slowly, bring your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Make a figure four with your legs. Hands to center, and then start to squat down here, nice and slow. So it's all about slow, controlled movements. That's how we're going to build strength. And this is how we're going to engage our full body. So we're using the auxiliary muscles and the primary muscles. And this is what makes it different from another workout, from maybe strength training with weights. Because we have to use all the little muscles in our body, the ones that if we don't exercise, we're at risk for injury. So focus on a point in front of you. Keep your chest open, your shoulders drawn back. Tons of stuff going on here. Keep the weight in your heel, knees to the back, sink lower to engage your glutes even more. And then go ahead and stand up all the way. Relax your right foot down next to your left foot. And relax back into mountain pose. Relax your arms along your sides and take 2 deep breaths here. Relax your shoulders down and back. Focusing on the present, focusing on right now, and how this workout is going to benefit your sports, benefit your fitness. From mountain pose, bring your hands together. Press your fingertips forward, interlace your fingers, and then bring your arms overhead. And sit down into a squat here. Squeeze your knees together, push your butt back. Keep your lower back flat, and then lift your knees, lift your heels off the ground so that you're balancing on your toes. Press your knees together and open up your chest by squeezing your arms up higher, but keep your shoulders down. So feeling this in your thighs to hold you up, feeling this in your calves, feeling this in your core as you balance, and feeling an opening, a stretch in your chest and shoulders. One more breath here. And then go ahead and forward fold. Heels to the ground, relax your knees so you can bring your hands to the ground and pedal your feet back and forth. So pressing down through one heel and then bending the other leg, straightening the leg that you're stretching. So just going through these pedals with your feet back and forth. And throughout these exercises, keeping your breath as consistent as possible. So nice and slow, in and out of the nose. That will help you maintain your focus. Help you maintain your focus when you're in an unsettled situation or something where you have to think. As long as you can breathe and keep your breath under control, your body will not go into a fight or flight mode. You'll be able to control the situation and react the way that you want to instead of the way that you might not want to. All right, from here, going into some balance work. Press your left foot to the back. Pull your chest forward. Bring your hands to center. So back to the airplane pose, arms trans-pressing the center. And then squat down, bend into your right knee. Bring your left knee in toward your right calf. and then push it back, extend. So working on these kickbacks to build flexibility, to build balance, to build strength in your lower body. Doing 5 of these. Keep your core engaged the whole time. Keep your chest lifted. You want to keep your torso as straight as you can. We got one more after this. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. Pressing your foot to the back. Locking out your back leg. Slight bend to your standing leg. And then warrior 3, hold, take your arms out in front of you, lengthen your torso. Make sure your left hip is relaxed toward the ground. Your right glute is super engaged. 5 more seconds, that's 1 breath. And then bring your left knee up to your hip level, standing in a 1-leg balance. Hands at center, toes reaching toward your shin in your left foot. Hips even. So working on balance still. Pressing down through your right heel, lifting your chest up, getting as tall as you can. And then step your left foot to the back. Press the outside of your left foot into the ground at a 45-degree angle. So now you're in a warrior 1 pose. Lift your arms overhead. And then pull your elbows down to shoulder level, so that you're in warrior 1 with goalpost arms. So this is going to help you work on chest flexibility while building into the flexibility of your hip flexor. So this is working on endurance and strength in your thighs, and also working on flexibility in your thighs, as well as your back calf. 1 more breath here. And then a side stretch. Lower your right hand to your right thigh. Lift your left arm up and over for warrior 1 with a side stretch. So your hips remain facing straight forward. The only thing that's changing is your upper body here. So still getting a stretch in your back half. Still feeling your right thigh working. Still feeling your core engaged. And still feeling that stretch. An even deeper stretch now in the front of your left hip. Chest still up. And really press your fingertips up and over. 1 more breath here. And then bring it back to center. Lower your hands down to the ground and start to straighten your right leg. Now if you have a block here, you can place that block inside your right foot to help bring the ground up to you. Or if you have the flexibility, simply place your hand on the ground, maybe your fingertips. From here, moving into Revolve Pyramid. So pull your body forward, try to make your back as flat as you can, bend your knee if you need to, and then extend your right arm up in the air for Revolve Pyramid. So now we're targeting the IT band, which if you run a lot, you know that this muscle gets tight. And the tighter this muscle is, the more it pulls on the knee, which can lead to problems in knee stability. So here we're feeling the stretch in the back of the right thigh, the IT band, and also feeling a twist in our torso. So working on our spinal health. 1 more breath here. Push your head forward, away from your torso, and then lower your hand back down. Step back up to a forward fold. Release down. Look all the way behind you so your neck is relaxed. And then bring a half lift. Pull your body forward. Flatten up your back. Bring your hands to your shins. If that feels too difficult, for some extra support. And then fold back down as you exhale. And then from a forward fold, bringing it to the second set, opposite side. Coming up to your toes. Pull your chest forward. Interlace your fingers. Press your fingertips forward. And then lift your arms up overhead. So even the movements themselves are part of the exercise. It's not just about the pose itself or the exercise. It's about the moving into it as well, and moving slowly, so you're working on your focus, working on strength, moving into the pose, and then holding it so that you can develop strength when you're there. All right, go ahead and forward fold from here. Relax your knees, relax your chest toward your thighs,
and pedal your feet back and forth one by one. So getting a deeper stretch in the hamstring, into your calf, alternating back and forth, keeping your head and neck relaxed. And this is going to help reduce the risk of injury to your hamstrings. So preventing tears, preventing strains, and also preventing lower back pain, which tends to happen when your hamstrings aren't supple or flexible enough. Alright, and then from here going into some airplane to warrior 3 exercises. Kick your right leg to the back. Bring your chest off the ground. Pull your body forward. Relax your right hip down toward the ground. And then hands to center. So this is working on your core strength, working on your glute activation, so that you can help reduce the risk of injury to your knee. A lot of knee injuries are caused by lack of glute strength. So really focus on engaging your left buttock here, the outside, your external hip rotators, and just balancing. And then bring your knee toward your left calf, squat, and then press back. Inhale down, exhale, kick back and pull forward. Pointing your toes back as far as you can, and your head as forward as you can. Try to keep your chest lifted as you move through these kickbacks. Keep your heel flat on the ground, and this is developing lower body strength, endurance, and balance. And then on this last one, extend your arms forward. Hold for 2 breaths. Extend as far as you can in opposite direction. So really point your right toes to the back. Extend your arms forward, arms up, chest down. A little bit more. And then bring your knee up to hip level for balance. Hands to center. Press down through your left heel. Pull your chest up, shoulders down and back. Working on balancing. Focus on a non-moving point in front of you. Relax your shoulders. So feel this stretch in the front of your left hip and feel your left leg work to hold you up. Core engagement as well to help balance. And then step your right foot to the back. Point it out at a 45-degree angle for warrior 1. Lift your arms overhead and pull your elbows down to shoulder level. So goalpost arms, warrior 1 legs. Squeeze your legs toward one another. Your right hip pulls forward, left hip pulls back, and your butt comes under your torso to engage your core, lengthening your lower back. So feeling your core engaged, feeling your front thigh working and your back thigh working, stretching the front right hip, and then also a stretch in your right calf. Elbows can squeeze toward the back. Use your scapular muscles here to pin your shoulder blades into your back. That will help reduce the risk of injury to your shoulders. We want scapular stability and shoulder mobility. So increasing scapular strength will help reduce the risk of injury, open up your chest for more power, more movements in upper body movements. And then left hand on top of your left thigh, reach your right arm up and over for a side stretch. Keep your hips facing straight forward, lower body exactly the same as it was in Warrior 1. But now right arm's coming up and over for a side stretch. So you're getting a nice stretch from the right hip all the way up through the shoulder. Chest stays up, chin up. One more breath here. Still breathing in and out of the nose, nice and controlled. And then lower your hands down to the ground, either side of your left foot. Start to straighten your left leg for a pyramid. Keep your back leg straight, knee pressing toward the back. Bend your knee as much as you need to get your fingertips to the ground. And then pull your chest forward. Again, if you have that block, you can place your hand on the block inside your left ankle. And then flatten out your back, bend your knee as much as you need to, and lift your left arm up in the air for a revolve pyramid. So this is stretching the back of your left thigh, your hamstring, and also your IT band, so the outside of your left leg. Push your head forward and twist. So this is helping improve strength and spinal mobility. So not just flexibility and movement or range of motion for the sake of being able to move that far, but building strength within that range of motion. That's what we're doing here. So this is strengthening twisting movements like throwing or pushing or changing directions. And then lower your hand back down. Step back up to a forward fold. Look all the way behind you. Relax your head and neck. No wrinkles in your neck. Half lift, pull your body forward. Hands to your shins for some extra support. And then fold back down. Looking all the way behind you. And then drop your butt down. Pull your chest forward. Lift your arms out wide. Arms up overhead. Palms touch. And pull your hands back to center. Alright, arms along your side. Take a few breaths here to focus. So think about what you're doing right now. You're relaxing your shoulders down and back. Paying attention to your body. What feels sore? What feels stretched? How do you feel different from when you started? Focusing on right now, focusing on how your body feels, focusing on what you want to accomplish with this specific movement. One more breath. And then lift your arms overhead. Exhale, lower your hands down to the ground. Step your feet to the back into a plank. And then we're going to work on some balancing here. So lift your right leg off the ground about 6 inches. Extend your left arm forward. We're going to hold this for about 10 seconds. Just working on balance here, working on core strength. Make sure your chest is relaxed down so that you're using your back and your chest to hold you up here. And then switch sides. Left hand down, left leg up, right arm up. Try to keep your hips level and use your whole body here. Relax your chest toward the ground so that you can plug your shoulder into your back, shoulder blade pinned into your back. And then lower hand down, lower your foot down. From here, nice and slow, lower all the way down to the ground onto your chest. And now we're going to do a Cobra instead of up dog. We want to focus on technique. In up dog, people tend to mess up the technique a lot. So pay attention. Press 10 toes into the ground, toe side. Squeeze your thighs so your knees lift. Internally rotate your thighs so the outsides of your thighs start to come face toward the ground. And then press your lower abdomen into the ground to engage your core. Now, with core engaged and legs engaged, lightly lift your chest, just using your lower body strength. And then pull your elbows back, pull your shoulders down. And this move is strengthening the entire back side of your body. So, you're working on your pulling muscles in your back, working on your lower back strength for lower back stability, power and twist, and stability and twist so you don't injure your spine here. Lift up a little bit higher, poke your head forward, make your body as long as you can. You're also working on your breathing ability here. So try to keep your breath under control even though it wants to speed up. And then release back down. Sometimes I say one breath. In reality, I mean more than one breath. We're going to work our way into down dog from here. Hands under your shoulders, chest between your shoulders, head away from your shoulders, your ears away from your shoulders. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, and push your chest back toward your thighs. Focusing on creating a straight line from your hands to your hips at first. And then working on starting to straighten your legs more and more. The focus here is really on getting the stretch in your lower back. So if you're not feeling that stretch in your lower back, bend your knees a little bit. And then you can start working on pushing your butt back. We're going to make this a little active at first. So press your heels down, one and then the other, to work into your calf flexibility. Tightest muscles in your body are your calves. So most of you guys are athletes, which means that you use your calves a lot. So this is a very applicable stretch. Work on keeping your shoulders as wide as possible, your back spread wide, and shoulders away from the ears. That will promote shoulder strength and scapular stability, which we talked about earlier. Very important to overall shoulder health. All right, and now we're going to move into a fixed down dog. So start to press both heels down, and as you inhale here, lift up slightly. As you exhale through your nose, push your lower back down toward the ground. Push your heels down. So you're deepening the stretch. So in this way, we're using the breath to help. We also talked about this before, but as you're exhaling, Squeeze your belly button as tight as you can, like you're pulling it into your lower back. And that will help especially with engaging your lower abdomen and stretching your lower back, which is one of the tightest areas in athletes' bodies. All right, bring your toes together, moving on. Lift your right leg up in the air. Press your heel back as far as you can for a hamstring stretch. Three-legged dog. And hold this. Press your heel back even more. Try to keep your hips even here. So look back up at your belly button. Make sure that your left hip is staying level with your right hip, that you're not lifting your right hip way up in the air, and that your toes are facing straight down. So this is building shoulder strength. This is building hamstring flexibility, which is going to help reduce the risk of injury to your hamstrings and also reduce the risk of injury to your lower back. From here, squeeze your knee forward toward your nose and step it up between your hands. If it doesn't get all the way up there, use your right hand to pull it up all the way. So that movement is also great for developing core strength. Squeeze your feet toward one another and then bring your hands behind your back for a runner's lunge with chest opening stretch. Push your fingers as far as you can away from your shoulders and pull your body forward. So this is working on stretching out your chest, engaging your back muscles. So this is really good for opening up the chest, something that we don't do a lot. We don't stretch this enough, and because we spend a lot of time hunched over, very important here. Also working on developing the strength in your legs. And then from here, moving back to a stand-up position, press down through your right foot, balance on your right leg, lift your right arm up, and then grab the back, the inside of your left foot. Relax your left shoulder down. Big breath up. Moving into standing pose here. Kick your left foot back as far as you can. Reach your right hand up and slightly forward. So this is working on stretching your left hip flexor. So that's a very tight muscle. And also opening up your chest again, working on a back bend here. Just keep your core engaged, keep your core strong here to protect your back as you bend. Press your fingertips up high to work on shoulder flexibility. One more breath here. And then very lightly, bring your hands back to center, and with control, step your left foot all the way to the back to that runner's lunge that you started in. And then lowering your hands down, and then stepping your right foot to the back. And then from here, lowering all the way down, we're going to take it to one more Cobra. So flipping your feet, pressing all 10 toes into the ground, squeezing your thighs so your knees lift, pulling your body forward, lengthening your torso, and then lifting up lightly through the chest, pulling your shoulders back, pulling your elbows back, looking forward, engaging all the muscles in your body. So legs engaged, knees lifted, toes pressing into the ground, core engaged to protect your back, and then lifting with your back muscles to get your chest off the ground. Elbows pressing into your sides, shoulders pulling down to engage the traps. One more breath here. Release back down. Woo! And then from here, back into a down dog. Make sure you keep your shoulders away from your ears, focusing on making your back as wide as you can, keeping your shoulders behind your chest, and pressing your lower back and your core toward the ground. You want to make your lower back as flat as you can here. You can press through one foot and then the other foot, and keep repeating this. And then hold it for a couple breaths. Make sure you're lifting your toes off the ground here as well, so that you can get a really deep stretch in your calves, and pressing your heels toward the ground to get an even deeper stretch. All right, feet back together into three-legged dog, opposite side. Press your left heel back as far as you can. Even out your hips, so look back at your belly button. Make sure that your left hip is not above your right hip. And keep the integrity of your shoulders here. Flex your right thigh completely. Make sure that you're using your leg here, using both legs, keeping your toes reaching back toward your shin, and your left leg, keeping that foot active. Press back even more. One more breath here. And then squeezing your knee toward your nose, pulling your foot up all the way between your hands for a runner's lunge. Squeeze your feet toward one another. Even out your hips. The left hip pulls back and down. Right hip pulls up and forward. And then bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, one thumb over. Whichever thumb was on top before, switch that up. And then pull your torso forward. Keep squeezing your legs toward one another. So this is a deep chest stretch. Also a really difficult lunging position. So building strength here. Helping to get stronger for takeoffs. Also helping to build flexibility into your right hip flexor. And especially reducing the risk of rotator cuff injuries in your shoulders. Very common injury, preventable with the right exercises. And then from here, bring your hands forward. Press down through your left foot. Come to balance on your left foot. And grab the inside of your right foot for standing bow pose. Keep your knees in toward one another. Relax your right shoulder down and back. Left arm up. Big inhale. Exhale, press back. Reach your left hand forward for standing bow pose. Left arm goes up and forward. Hips face straight forward, so you should feel a stretch in your right shoulder. Kicking back as hard as you can into your right hand with your foot. Also feeling a stretch in your right hip flexor, the front of your right hip. Feeling your left thigh working to hold you up here, even your calf. And also feeling a stretch in your chest, arching in your back. Core engagement to protect your lower back. This is fantastic for developing hip flexibility. Also really good for helping reduce the risk of injury with this balancing exercise. And then from here, ending and stepping back to that lunge. Right foot all the way to the back. Nice and slow. Remember, the transitions are an exercise as well. And then lowering your hands to the ground. Stepping back to a plank. And resting in plank. Pushing your head forward. Keeping your knees lifted. And then from here, grab your block. If you have it nearby. If you don't have a block, don't worry. You don't need it. Place it in the middle of your mat. And then place your forearms on either side of that block. And squeeze your elbows into the block. Hands, palms flat on the ground. We're going to work into Dolphin Pose here, which is really good for opening.
right ankle, and then bring your right hand to the block. Start to straighten your right leg. Lift your left arm up in the air for triangle pose with a block. So here, you'll feel a really nice stretch on the inside of your right thigh. Also feeling some stretching on your outer left hip. So this is really good for reducing the risk of injury to your hamstrings. We're stretching the inner hamstring, your adductors, those muscles that bring your legs in back toward your body, which are really important for stabilizing. You want to have equal strength on both sides of your legs. Sometimes we only do the outsides, so this is important. Push your head forward more. Maybe come up to your fingertips, or maybe move the block out of the way and move it all the way down to the ground. Your hand all the way down to the ground if you're feeling more flexible. From here, moving into a fun but difficult balance pose. Move your block out in front of your right foot, about a foot. And then keep your shoulders, keep your hips facing out to the side. Press down through your right leg. Kick your left heel toward the back for half moon. So you're kind of making this plus sign with your body here. Imagine that you're being squeezed between two walls. So you're keeping your body as thin as you can, extending in all directions. Keeping a slight bend to your right knee. Feeling a stretch on the left hip, the inner right thigh, and also maybe stretching through your back as you hold yourself up here in this balance pose. Just keep trying. If it doesn't work the first time, you have to do it quite often to get the hang of this pose. And then we're going to move back to Warrior 2 with control. Nice and slow. Relax the shoulders once you get there, and then we're going to switch sides. Bring your block with you. Straighten your right leg, turn that in. Turn your left foot out, and then bend into your left knee. Knee over the ankle in your left leg, butt under your shoulders, straight line from your pubic bone up to your sternum. Make sure that your hips are facing out to the side as much as possible, so you're getting as deep a stretch in your groin as you can. And make sure that your knee is tracking over your middle toes. Press into the outside of your back foot so you're getting a stretch in your outer ankle, which is going to help improve the range of motion in your ankles, reduce the risk of injury. So if you land unexpectedly on the grass or on uneven terrain, your ankle will have been in that position before and it won't sprain. You won't have injury there. At least we're reducing the risk of that. And then arms out to the sides, shoulders relaxed and down, fingertips pressing in opposite directions. And we're going to go through some more of those finger snail stretches. So index fingers, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, all reaching back toward your face. Palms pushing out wide. And then squeezing your fingers in toward the insides of your wrist. Pushing the backs of your hands out in opposite directions. Bring it out, fingers toward the backs of your wrists, toward your face. Pressing the palms out in opposite directions. Stretching your chest, your biceps, and your forearms, and then bringing your fingers in toward the insides of your wrists, trying to press the tips of your fingers to your wrist, pushing the backs of your hands out in opposite directions, stretching your forearms, and then fingers back out, relax the shoulders. From here, moving into triangle pose, bring your block to the inside of your left ankle, plant your hand, start to straighten your left leg. Push your left hip under your right hip. Make sure that your hips are still facing out to the side, and then extend your right arm up in the air. So you'll notice that you're kind of making a triangle shape with your body here. Got an isosceles triangle here. Head pushing forward, feeling the stretching here on the inside of your left thigh, outside of your right hip. So this is a different position. It's not something that we do a lot in sports, but that's why we want to do it. You need to make your body do things that it's not used to doing in order for it to be balanced. So be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Roll back the right shoulder, straighten the leg a little bit more to get deeper. Keep your left leg engaged here. Don't lock it out all the way. And then from here, moving into half moon. Block in front of your left foot. Press down through your left foot. Lift your right leg off the ground. Keep your hips facing out to the side. Roll back your right shoulder. Half moon balancing pose here. So feeling the stretching here on the inside of your right thigh still. Pressing your left heel back, reaching your toes toward your shin.
So everything is active here. Your back leg especially. Heel pushing back as far as you can. Head pushing forward, expanding in all directions. One more breath here, and if it doesn't work the first time, just keep trying. The more you try, the more your body will start to learn it. And then take it back to a warrior two position. Shoulders relaxed. All right, straighten the leg, turn that foot in, relax your hands. The last exercise that we're going to do is the goddess pose. This is also called horse pose. So this is a fantastic exercise for opening up your groin and building lower body strength and endurance. Point your toes out to the side as much as you can. Start with your feet out like this, maybe 75 degrees, and then work your way out from there. And drop your butt down so you start to feel a stretch in your groin. Walk your feet out further if you need to, or point your toes out further if you need to. Now try to bring your butt under your torso, engaging your core and leaning your shoulders back so that they're directly on top of your hips. Arms out in front of you, and then sit down deeper to make this more difficult for your lower body. Getting more flexibility in your groin and also making it harder for your lower body to hold you up. The lower you go, the deeper the flexibility will get and the better this exercise is. Keep crawling your feet out if you'd like. Just make sure your knees stay back. Pull your hips forward even more. 2 more breaths here. Remember, breathing in and out of the nose, nice and controlled. Both glutes engaged like crazy. Thighs should be on fire by this point. Stand all the way up. Bringing your feet back together for one last standing mountain pose. Arms along your sides, pushing down through your heels, lifting your chest up. Shoulders down as you exhale. So now you just did the first half of the Yoga for Athletes workout. So I want you to check in with your body and notice what feels different, what feels sore, what feels tired, and just notice your body. Notice how it feels right now. And just that noticing, that mindfulness of how your body feels right now in the present is going to help you with your mental strength, which will directly apply to how you use your brain in your sports. Relaxing your chest, relaxing your shoulders, standing up tall and confident, maybe closing your eyes to help focus better on how your body is feeling. And try to stop thinking about all the crap that's going on in your life. Don't worry about what you need to do tomorrow. Just worry about how your body feels right now. Gentle inhale through your nose. And a gentle inhale, all right, exhale through your nose. All right, and then we're going to move on to the next portion of the workout.